All right, fifth graders. So we are here. So in class, you should have been reviewing and going over and trying to answer these practice essay questions. And so now I'm here to kind of review and give you a brief explanation for these. Again, you should be using these to help you review for your science test. All right. So the first question, number one, is: it is sunrise. Please explain the direction that your shadow would be facing and describe how long it would be. Then compare where your shadow would be facing at noon and explain why the shadow would be facing at in a different direction and be a different length. So in order to understand this, you need to know the direction in the sky in which the sun rises and in which it sets, and how the height of the shadow affects the length of a shadow, okay? So remember, the sun always rises in the east and it sets in the west. So our shadow will always be facing in the opposite direction. So if it's sunrise, that means the sun is slowly coming up in the east, and the opposite of east is west. So if the sun is rising in the east, our shadow would be facing in the pointing west. Okay. Now, and also it's asking about how long it would be. So you have to understand that. Remember, sunrise means the sun is low. Rise means it's gradually getting higher in the sky, and then it starts to set and get lower. So when the sun is at its lowest point at sunrise and sunset, our shadows will be the longest, because the lower the shadow is, the longer our shadow is. As the sun gets higher in the sky, our shadows will gradually get shorter and shorter until we reach noon, when our shadow will be the shortest point. And then it will go down and our shadow will continue and gradually get longer. So at sunrise, our shadow will be facing in the west and our shadow will be very long. But then at noon, when the sun is at its highest position, our shadow will be facing south, and our shadow will be at the shortest position. Okay? Question number two: what is the difference between rotation and revolution? Explain how long it takes for the Earth to complete one full rotation and one full revolution. Draw what this would look like. All right? So rotation is basically I'm spinning around. I am rotating. It's an object turning around on its axis. So the Earth has an axis, which is an imaginary shaft running basically from north to south, and it rotates or spins around on its axis. Okay, rotation is if I have an object. This flashlight is rotating around me. It is basically traveling around another object. All right, so rotation means spinning around on your own axis, and rotation means for an object to travel around another object. So objects that rotate are the Earth. The Earth rotates. Okay, objects that revolve. The Earth revolves around the sun. The moon revolves around the Earth. Okay, what are the phases of the lunar cycle? Be sure to name the phases and include if they are part of the primary or the intermediate phases. So let me go here. The phases of the lunar cycle, you should already know this, are the new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent. So those are the 8 phases: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then you need to understand what the main or primary phases are versus the intermediate phases. Okay, so the primary phases are the new moon, first quarter moon, full moon, and the third quarter moon. You could do this. If we start with the new moon, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they are the odd phases of the moon. Right? Phase number 1, 3, 5, 7. If you want to think about odd numbers, all right? That means the intermediate phases are the even, or the ones with waxing or waning in front of them. So we have waxing crescent, waxing gibbous, and waning crescent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the intermediate phases are the even numbers. If that will help you, great. And then make sure you understand the difference between waxing and waning. Waxing means to get larger. The Earth is waxing, it's gradually getting more illuminated. And then waning means to get smaller. Okay, let's see. Which planets fall under the category of rocky planets and gas planets? Then explain the difference in size and location in the solar system. Okay, so rocky planets, or aka terrestrial planets. All right, terrestrial means land, so that's why rocky composition. So the first 4 planets in the solar system, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are the terrestrial or the rocky planets, and they are going to be the smaller of the 4 of the planets, the first 4 planets. And how they relate to the closeness to the sun, that they are the 4 planets that are closest to the sun. Right, so the terrestrial planets or land planets, are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, and they're the smallest of the four smallest planets, and they're closest to the sun. And then you have your gas giant planets. You have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They are the largest planets. They are gas giants, so obviously they are the biggest one, and they are the farthest away from the sun. Okay, final question. Explain why stars appear to move across the night sky. You should know that stars do not actually move. Remember, the Earth rotates, so as the Earth rotates, the stars appear to be moving, but really our position on Earth is moving. It's not the stars that are actually moving. Okay, fifth graders, again, this is just a review for you to help you study, review for your test. You're going to have a few essay short answer questions for your test. I believe in you. Good luck. I miss you if you're watching this. This means I wasn't in class. Okay?